My name is Malena.
And I'm Jessica.
And our vision is to create a more sustainable and globally responsible food culture by developing nutritious and delicious food based on insects. And before you start thinking that we're crazy up here, let me remind you what is actually way more crazy. Our consumption of meat is so high, especially in the Western countries, that it is having severe consequences on our climate and biodiversity. In fact, all the meat that we're eating today is emitting more CO2 than the entire global transport sector, and it takes up 80% of all agricultural land. See, that is crazy, but also very inefficient. So, we are a growing global population, so we need to find more alternative protein sources. We need them now, and we need them fast. See, insects presents a great alternative. I realized this 10 years ago when I was served fried grasshoppers by my host family living in Tanzania. As a vegetarian, I didn't really know what to do, but I decided to integrate and ended up eating insects for a whole year. So this led me to focus my 8 years of study on edible insects. And overall, I have learned there are 3 main reasons to why we should be eating more insects. First of all, I know you won't believe me, but they really taste good. And it's not just me. 2 billion people around the world eat insects on a daily basis. Second of all, nothing can beat insects nutritionally. It's really like eating meat, fish, and rye bread at once, because you get all the complete proteins, you get omega-3 fatty acids, and a lot of fiber. But you also get essential vitamins and minerals, such as zinc, B12, and iron. Lastly, but most importantly, insects has a climate impact similar to plants, so they're very sustainable to produce. Producing 1 kilo of insects compared to 1 kilo of beef requires 12 times less feed, 20,000 liters less water, and emits 100 times less CO2. Furthermore, they can be grown vertically, so they don't take up very much space, and they can also be fed on food waste, solving yet another problem. So, if we could just start integrating insects into our diet, we could really lower our climate footprint significantly.
All right, I think we might have to take a little pause because I can see what you're all thinking. This whole thing about insects sounds really great, but the idea of eating them, that's just a bit disgusting. That's exactly how I felt 3 years ago, as you can see, when Malena served me this larvae risotto. And I admit, I might not have done it without a few glasses of wine first. But in the end, I took a bite of those big, juicy worms, and something said click in my mind, because it actually tasted really good. My passion is to create attractive business solutions to global problems. My first venture was a social, high-end fashion company. And although fashion and insects don't have much in common, I remember thinking as I took a few more bites of this delicious risotto, that if we do this in the right way, with the most tasty products and an attractive brand, there could really be potential. So that's why we decided to develop products using insect powder, with no visible bugs and no wings between your teeth. And digging into the numbers, I realized this isn't just about doing good. There's a fast-growing market for edible insects, and it's estimated to reach $1.2 billion by 2023. It's a growth which is being led by North America and Europe. In that same year, our ambition is to reach 3 million euros in revenue of sales. And we're already really well on our way. Today, we sell our range of snack products such as these squares, crisp bread, and protein bars in a range of specialty stores and supermarkets, mainly in Denmark, but also Germany. So that's great. And we've had a revenue of about 300,000 euros. which means at least 50,000 people already know how great bugs are. But what gets us the most excited is the prospect of replacing beef with insects. And that's why we've spent the past 1.5 years developing a completely new kind of food with the Danish Technological Institute. And we call it MANNA. MANNA is made from peas and insect powder, which is texturized into a kind of minced meat. It can be used as a bolognese, meatballs, or a burger. It has a meaty texture and flavor with deep notes of umami. So this is really a product that can be integrated into people's everyday lives, increasing a more sustainable consumption and production of food. Replacing a meal of beef with MANNA saves the environment 4,000 liters of water, 600 grams of CO2, and it also saves a lot of land, pesticides, and antibiotics. We are ready to scale our activities, and we're ready to get MANNA onto people's plates. With funding, we'd be able to start the first production and scale our marketing activities. Because, to be honest, it requires quite a lot to get people to take the first bite. And, yes, so if we win, you're... why are you moving? You are supporting an impact business that is environmentally and economically sustainable with a team that is deeply motivated to scale and create positive change. Now, I know you're dying to taste, and Melina's already moving, so I hope you'll have a little bite of our snacks. It's not that scary.
You will see. You're very welcome. You should try the crisp bread. It's really good.